sloppy players.
마이크 체크하자.
본 사람한테 미안하지만 4대0 4대0 갑시다.
They're definitely scared of us.
Yeah, 100%.
I know they are.
마지막 기회입니다, 여러분.
Play our game and pummel these kids.
Yeah, let's go. Yo, 3, 2, 1, fighting! Let's go, boys.
밴쿠버 하나, 둘, 셋. 밴쿠버 화이팅!
Make some noise as we're heading to our stage 1 final.
우리가 훨씬 잘해. 침착하게.
That's fine. We suck at that map. It's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Now we win.
Yeah. Shadow left, carry me! Nice!
It's our worst map and we won. Let's go.
So bad!
퍽까지 부조화 내가 부르는 거.
오케이.
Now, the kings of the jungle have to assert themselves.
루쇼.
Focus.
아, 이거 진짜 아깝다. 이건 어쩔 수 없어.
Guys, we're so much better. Let's go.
Is this where it ends? Is this where the shock hold off the Titans?
야, 가자, 앞으로 갈게.
민서 프리드리!
할수 있어. 나이스.
표정 봤지?
야, 칭찬하기엔 입이 아깝고 끝나고 칭찬해줄게.
오케이.
일단은 가자. 17연승.
It all ends here on Rialto.
Nice. Nice, guys.
딱일분이야. 서울이랑 똑같아.
Remember the Titans though, they are still in a great spot to take this all the way here.
라인 보내줘. 자리야. 핸드필.
아니 방심하지 말고 얘네 표정 굳었어. 확실히 막을 수 있어.
That was a haymaker of a round. The Shock, they only have 1 minute. 1 minute on this map.
We can still win, really.
야, 리얼리.
Really, I believe. Don't be scared, guys.
This is just a first point hold. That's all this is. That's just a full hold.
Now we know what the Titans need to do. It's simple. And the Vancouver Titans take what was promised to them. Your stage 1 champions.
GG.
That's right, guys.
I'm about to start crying, bro.
Good job, everyone.
I'm really proud of you guys.
Good job.
That's so sick.
I like that both teams pointed out that they are so much better than the other team. That's probably my favorite part of that whole
I
thing.
loved how harsh Super was at the beginning. He sees the walkout, calls them ugly, sloppy players. That's so brutal, man.
I think for me it was the ending though as well. Sinatra as well, saying how proud he was of his team, despite them losing.
Sinatra's quite a nice positive.
He really is.
within the team.
Right.
Like, his persona when he's like streaming, you think of him as quite a toxic young lad.
Yeah.
He's not. He's a wholesome boy, and you love him for it. Really, don't you?
It was so much fun. That was fun to watch. All right, well, let's get back to the match, guys. San Francisco Shock still dominating, up 2-0. Anything the Valiant can do right now to get into this game. All right.
Yeah, I mean, they're a roster that's still in the middle of rebuilding. I think that's the point. I mean, we casted them while they were doing this California Cup showdown before. We saw the Valiant come out swinging the first time, and then Shock replied. And at the moment, it's a rough position for the Valiant to be in. But in the future, they can definitely hoist this trophy back. But it's going to be tough to come back now.
I agree. Yeah. I mean, what more would you like me to add on to this?
I don't know.
You've been very polite about
Tell
it.
me that Custer's going to be cloned and we're just going to have 6 Custers up on the stage.
I'm looking forward to the next episode of Custer's News Network. I'll tell you that for free. Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
Well, we said it yesterday, when you're at the bottom, there's only one direction you can move in. And we're going to see if the Valiant can find some semblance of life coming up in the second half. Stay tuned.
They don't just play for a team. They play for every fan, every rival, every moment, every match. And when everyone watching expects the best, they perform with the best.
Grim tidings from the City of Angels, especially if you're an LA fan. 2-0 down in this series for the Valiant. The Shock are looking dominant as ever, dominant as we expected. And perhaps we didn't expect the greatest performances from the Valiant, but this has been pretty quiet from them.
Look, I mean, the Valiant have had a ton of time to practice. You decided on the, some of the lineup changes you want to make coming into this stage. We just haven't seen it work out this far, and I think when you go up against a team that's a well-oiled machine like the Shock, you're going to see results like this, at least early on.
Again, the Shock having that extra stage experience of having played in the playoffs, and a lot of time in between that as well to prepare themselves to go up against the Titans. So, a bit of A, bit of B. It also happens as well if you fall on like tougher times in the league, or you're not getting wins, or maybe your scrims aren't turning out the way you like them to. You don't always have the chance to scrim everyone. Some teams might say, look, no offense. You guys are struggling right now. We'd rather sort of keep getting out ahead instead of sort of teach.
I mean, when I coach teams, in Call of Duty like that, we wouldn't play teams that we felt like could really give us a run. And I imagine, for some of those other teams, it was pretty difficult to get like consistent games.
It's very minor thing. No leaks. Not like we know anything. I'm quite sure the Valiant have plenty of Overwatch teams to play against. But Blizzard World will be our next map. I haven't seen this one in a while. Well, we saw it just before, but in a while. We see a lot of Sombra on this map, so maybe we'll see a bit more of that showcase from space. Troy Hoban obviously gripping that mouse as he was, just trying to limber up a little bit before he jumps back in the pilot seat of the Valiant.
The Valiant need a map win in like just the same fashion we just saw the Shock win like Anubis, like something that like everybody's so tense up there, like you can just kind of like you look up and you see the guys, you just feel the vibe, like isn't great, like they just need a ridiculous win that everybody can just kind of laugh and rally behind, like these games, especially because like it sucks to lose these games when like they're so close, like you'd rather just get blown out, but like some of the series that they've had that have gone the distance and you still lose, it makes the next series like 10 times harder.
NYXL, Hangzhou Spark, those were two series the Valiant went to 5 maps and lost. It takes the wind out of you. But they'll be on the attack to start with, so no time to ponder on previous defeats. I like this very much. They got the Hanzo and the Pharah.
So they're going to run triple DPS again. So they'll run Izzyaki on the Ana, and then you have Custa playing Mercy, so it'll be the solo thing. The Batiste version of the Reinhardt triple tank, triple support.
Seems to be the go-to for the Shock right now.
Well, look, it provides them a little bit of a hit scan here against the agilities, and it allows him to provide a ton of healing.
Well, now with like Brigitte not being able to shield bashes easily, they want to go for a third support that gives plenty of healing. Right?
There's not a ton of flankers here to I mean, you could get the shield bash onto the Sombra obviously, but to have it just for the Sombra, I think Batiste, just the utility that he provides in other areas just outweighs that.
The Shock are looking pretty comfortable right now. It looks like Spate is trying to roll around and find someone to unseat, but the Shock seem pretty unbothered by the presence of the Wrecking Ball in general.
Are you surprised that we've seen so many damage dealing comps come out from the Valiant? Look at their roster, the one thing you would have said is that their damage dealers are not their strongest portion of it.
Yeah, but I mean, we also saw them obviously play in a 3-3 dominated meta, and they didn't seem to be all that comfortable there either. Oh,
nice shot.
Head plucked like an apple. And KSF now Dragon Strike. This will force the Shock to play the left side, and will hopefully allow the Valiant to line up a couple more kills if they're trying to take this point. KSF's managed to get back behind it, but the Valiant, again, where is their anchor point? What are they playing around? Because Fate is playing a bit like a flanker on this Wrecking Ball. Where is their pivot point?
So that'll be the EMP that comes out from Super, and the nano boost here being used as well as...
Oh! He was nano boosted!
Rascal comes back, not playing Batiste, will play the Brigitte now, but I just found it interesting that I think when you look at the Valiant, I think like you could do something. Like I really love the tank duo as bait in space, and I think Izzyaki's been great. I just don't know if their strength is to play triple DPS.
I don't think they really know what to... Like, we've seen the Valiant get the first kill, but their transition into capturing the point or getting that second kill seemed really shaky.
I will say when you did a KSF using his Dragon Strike before, it was a really nice hack by space on a Treovan. Treovan's actually flying in to eat it, but he got hacked by space, wasn't able to do so. So you have to burn the res here on a KSF. Get him up.
The Shock can't engage on a 5-man Valiant with Fate behind them on the Wrecking Ball trying to capture the KSF and Izayaki both getting caught in the grab there. Izayaki on down. Space trying to pull people back to the point as the Sombra, but he's being ignored essentially. 1 minute remains for the Los Angeles Valiant to find something, an opening.
And I think if you're the Valiant, you have to have some variation of this composition and be able to play it at a high level. You see the Shock getting close to having 5 ultimates, the Graviton Surge just used there from Sinatra. What are you going to get here from the Valiant that is going to unlock the point?
I mean, we might see Fate trying to use Minefield to keep the Shock on that side of the point. He did that, tried to zone the Shock out.
They'll eat it all up here. Yeah,
Transcendence being used. Yeah. Sinatra will get easy charge by giving Super or someone similar a bubble as he walks through the Minefield. What next? Dragon Strike again. Another ultimate used to force positioning, but it doesn't really scare the Shock. Super does finally go down after using that Earth Shatter, and Tukova's a little bit low. But the sound barrier here, Fate needs to be very careful. Rascal switching over towards the Brig means that it's harder for Fate just to roll in and out of these fights. Agilities again, despite being nano boosted, got taken very low. Is able to back away, and you saw the orbs flying from Violet. He's looking to take Agilities down himself.
You're going to use 2 nano boosts here, both of them onto Agilities. As Super comes back on Wrecking Ball, that'll be a big EMP from space.
Yeah, KSF and Agilities now following up on that one nicely. A second for Agilities in this fight, and over the point now. A jubilant roar from the Farah player. As Tukovan finally is desuited, and Super will try and stall for just a little longer. The Valiant finally found their opening on this point, and they'll get to continue to play some Overwatch.
Do they stay with the same composition? It looks like a place here, just going up, trying to poke down for some damage. It looks like they will. Super changes off of Wrecking Ball, is going to go play Winston now. A little bit of a trade here. It's going to be a grab that comes through from
2 for 1.
Sinatra, yeah. They're going to just push them back.
Very unceremonious end for those two. Again, like, Sinatra's that guy.
He's going to change. Yeah. Maybe a Sombra play here,
Yep. We see a lot of Sombra on this map. It's very easy for Sombra to get behind the opponents. With so much high ground, so many ways to, wheedle in through the back.
Also the fact that Sombra's invisible.
Yep, that's pretty nice. Yeah. It's impossible to spy check adequately, like just to spam.
Yeah.
Sinatra can just walk around, so he'll get pretty much free hacks as long as he needs them.
This is where you start to get into the rock, paper, scissors type of game, right? Where they see the Shock make these changes, now the Valiant makes changes, and they'll be running the Winston version of the triple tank, triple support. Now, maybe that's what they're trying to do with their DPS combos at the beginning, is to force some changes out of the Shock so they can come back to a composition like this with an ult advantage.
I mean,
it hasn't worked really.
If you're the Shock, sure. You probably want the Valiant to try and play 3-3 against you. That was where the Shock looked very good last stage. And it wasn't that long ago. Izayaki down early. Sinatra found him in the back line immediately. Super says, let's go. Sinatra, however, had other ideas. He pulls out, but again, Super wasn't interested in getting kills. If he forced the Valiant back, that will be enough for him. Gets a repair pack. And now he's back to full health again.
So you're going to have an EMP. Oh, you're going to have all 6 ultimates here for the Shock. So this is a fight where the Valiant, they kind of know they're walking into a lost fight. Try and get as many ultimates out as possible.
I mean, Sinatra got caught there, plain and simple. The fact that he gets the EMP and then get out alive is ridiculous. And up, see you, Custer. Swim between the flags, bro.
I mean, for the Valiant, though, you did get the Shock to invest 3 ultimates into this fight. Jolie's up. There you go. Off the title. You did get the Shock to invest half of their ultimates there. Primal Rage, EMP, and a Rally. So you do have an ultimate advantage coming into this next fight. Problem is you only got 15 seconds to make something happen with.
Often been the Valiant's problem. It's just taken them too long to come up with an answer. Well, let's hope Transcendence, Graviton, also a Self-Destruct are an answer for them here. They're going to push forward. Very far forward, in fact. You see Fate with a Primal Rage again. Hoping to at least give his team a bit of freedom to push up. Fate just needs to not die here, which probably should be fine.
And I don't think the Shock mind giving this space right now. I think they feel pretty confident in where the payload is, so they can match it.
No grab for the Shock, remember that. Sinatra's actually playing the Sombra and not the Zarya. That's one less fight, potentially fight-winning ultimate, but they traded in for the EMP, which is fantastic even on its own. Sinatra is just a long way away from it. I think the Shock are trying to give him time to get there, but they have 2 support ultimates, which is also important. So he goes for the high ground. That was Violet now going for the Transcendence here. KSF still waiting. He's managed to get the Transcendence out. Now Izayaki goes for his. There might be time to seal the deal for the Valiant. They know they've got a long way to travel. They don't want to spend all their ultimates at once here. Take it slow on both sides. Okay, oh, his Graviton got eaten. The win condition for the Los Angeles Valiant is now gone, and they got to resort to the sound barrier, but the sound barrier gets ripped off them. Sinatra drops him with an EMP, and it's lights out. And both sensors of the term. And that looks pretty darn good now for the Shock to take map number 3 as well. Cool, calm, collected, and confident. And the Valiant need to find a way to stop them now. They're going to break upon them like a wave. We'll see you after these messages.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
Well, it looks like the California Cup, the very embodiment of the rivalry between North and South here, probably staying in the Bay Area for the time being. The Shock are pretty close to closing out this series, at least in terms of maps. There will be a 4th map still to be played. However, a 3-0 is looking more and more likely.
Man, it's been a tough series for the Valiant thus far. KSF, his Graviton Surge getting eaten there at the end.
I mean, they had to reset in the break. They really had to start again, start fresh in some sense with this roster. This was the backbreaker. Just before he was stunned. Just before he was stunned, he eats up that grab.
So it's tough, man. Like we were talking about before, like the Valiant, like the vibes aren't great on stage, right? There's so many Valiant fans in the arena, right? Like tons of green jerseys out. It's like they're excited, but it's kind of it's hard. Like you give the team all that energy, like and then you have some things just go sideways like that. Difficult. The Valiant will play something interesting on defense, so they'll play the triple tank, triple support, but now you have the wrecking ball in instead of like whether it's Winston or Reinhardt. So a little bit of a different look here against the Shock.
Shock will just go with what they like. Rascal says, no, I'm not playing Brig. Let me play Batiste. Let me baptize them with them holy water grenades and heal and, let me use the noob tube. Sinatra on the point. Oh, he gets stunned from behind there. Still able to shield himself up. Was probably more worried about Super at that stage, but interesting position. Looked a little bit disjointed there. I think the Shock made a last-minute decision to move into this room, which is named Snacks Ramos, by the way, which is great. Yeah. So good. But yeah, they'll have to regroup a little bit and wait for the Sombra to come back.
Oh, there's going to be the Amp Matrix here that comes out from Rascal, so see if they can get any of the damage through here.
Oh, it could be nasty now. Sinatra finds Custer. Yeah, the Amp Matrix was placed a little bit too far forward by the looks of things. The Valiant was standing in between them and the Matrix, so it doesn't do much there. Charge from Super. Full range. Straight into KSF, who has to hide behind the stand, get himself a corn dog and wait for his demise. And yeah, 2 minutes 40 on the clock as the Shock just start to capture the point. Izayaki was staggered. Violet and him exchanging meaningful glances before he was sent back to spawn, and 5 minutes are on the clock. 5.
Now we'll see if after we make a change here for the Valiant as Fate plays Reinhardt now. I think maybe after Sinatra uses his CMP, we see him play Zarya. You get into that mirror matchup, so to speak, with 3 tanks and 3 supports on both sides. Could be a big EMP.
Everyone's grouped up here. Yep, 5 people, not Izayaki, but Izayaki didn't have a Transcendence. It would have been great if he'd had one, perhaps enough to save them, but no.
And you'd rather walk into your death there if you're the Valiant than let the cart start to move around the corner and get to that box of victory. You do see Sinatra go back to the spawn. He's going to switch off, yeah.
How scary is that amplification matrix on this long stretch?
Especially when you're trying to engage yourself and you have the Graviton Surge, it's going to be very dangerous.
So the Valiant needs to be careful not
hit
to
with a big fire strike or something.
Yeah, remember, if they push into the matrix and they realize they're in the wrong spot, Custer, they knock him out of speed him out as fast as he used to be able to. So the Valiant, well, the Shock want the Valiant to commit. Here we go, amplification matrix thrown out now, and that shield's not going to last very long at all. Graviton had to be thrown out. Super laser shatter, then the shield. Rascal's immortality field is taken down, but the damage too severe. The Shock were inside a grab, yes, but they're able to get damage done still with their primary, secondary fire, and that was enough. Violet finds Izayaki, and that shuts the book on Blizzard World. It shuts the book on the series ultimately. It's 3-0. And the Valiant now have a chance to get one map to save face, but that's all they'll have. It was a pretty dominant showing for the San Francisco Shock, and they're unlikely to take their foot off the gas. And that California Cup will stay with the San Francisco Shock. Map 4 is right around the corner.
The Overwatch League is powered by Intel. Game, record, stream without compromise on Intel Core i7. And by Omen by HP, the official PC and display of the Overwatch League.
Shock brought the heavy artillery today, and it has shown.
So high.
That was dumb lit, as you would say.
Yeah.
But I mean, they've looked so good in this series. 3-0 now. One map away from being done and dusted, and a clean sweep is absolutely on the cards. And there's only one card in the deck, and that card is the clean sweep.
It has been a dominant performance from the Shock. I think the Valiant today, it looks like they're trying some things out. They potentially had some stuff that worked in scrimmages leading up to the stage. Has not worked today here against the Shock.
They are taking necessary steps, and losses like this, well, they are necessary, especially if you're a team that's trying to rebuild. Forged in the fires of adversity and all that. It sounds nice. It doesn't feel nice. It's been tough for them, no doubt about it. Again, Gibraltar represents an opportunity for them to rally. And I think KSS only match in Season 1 was on Gibraltar, if I'm not mistaken. That's when they got subbed in against the Dagrons, Shanghai, of course. But hey, pressure's off, right?
All right, so see the Valiant on the attack. As you see, that'll be point A once we start to get the payload moving. Point B.
Hey, he's even got B on it.
Yep.
Poggers.
And then to complete the map all the way the distance, you have to go to, what was this before you were saying, a rocket ship?
Yeah,
that's what you were talking about, right?
It doesn't...
Space.
Yeah. I mean, I assume... Look, the fact that Omnics don't need to recharge implies that fusion power is probably perfected in this timeline, so
I agree.
I have to accept it.
Probably battery powered, you're right.
It's not made to really fly that way, but that's fine. Anyway, the Shock. Okay, so they don't take the Batiste here, they do take the Brick. Maybe they were expecting some more flank action from the Valiant, but both teams actually playing, well, we would have called this standard last night.
Well, they decided to play it with Reinhardt on defense here, due to the Shock. Usually when you have the Reinhardt defense, maybe some damage dealers come out from the other side.
It's pretty well behaved, isn't it? Reinhardt on defense, they're not being very aggressive at all.
I think they feel really confident to weather the storm, whether the Valiant run the damage dealers, and I think that the Valiant have gotten off of the payload and not taking this fight in a position.
Oh, fight got stunned. Oh.
Yeah, I mean now you're in a tough spot because now you're diving into an area in this close tunnel that is advantageous to the Reinhardt playing team.
I mean, here's the thing: the Shock playing together. But Fate is looking for people that are separated, or he's going to try and separate them. And as soon as he does that, Rascal shield bashes him, and yeah, why not spawn camp them?
They're sitting outside.
This is... Man, these guys do not let up, do they?
Nah. I don't think the Valiant may come out of this low door. Be very surprised to find all of the San Francisco Shock down there. And this is... I mean, against the Valiant, right? I mean, you're going to hear the Transcendence used by Izayaki, just trying to keep everybody up. That's a big Graviton surge there.
They tried the Transcendence to get out. And I watch currently the faces of the Valiant as they adjust themselves in their seats and realize that their opponents intend to make a mockery of them.
Oh, I mean, the Shock guys are just kind of, they're laughing at it. I mean, they think this is... I mean, look, when I was a player and I was like working with teams, I would encourage what we're seeing from the Shock. Like if somebody's not bringing it, like you bring it to them and you let them know about it, right? And I like what we see of the Shock because there's a lot of the teams that are watching this right now like, oh man, we don't want to play against the Shock. If we start getting beat, we're gonna get spawn camp.
I know some of you out there, your only wishes for these games are that both teams have fun. Sometimes though, one team has a little bit more fun than the other, and that's what the Shock are here to do. Now the Shatter from Super, very aggressive. Fate's shield is destroyed right now. So this is where the Shock get aggressive, but they walk straight into Graviton Surge. Transcendence is out. They set up the combo. Fate goes charging in, but a Sound Arrow is there for the San Francisco Shock. They can hang around in this fight for a little longer. Super getting knocked forward. That might have been from KSS. Right here is in quite a lot of danger, and he is down. The Shock have bought 2.5 minutes of time, though, playing so far forward.
Yeah, the Valiant will go get the fight when they'll get out of the spawn. So you do start to make some progress here. It was... the Graviton Surge that came out from KSF, they're able to pick up 2 kills off of the back of that. Just coming in, they make it costly though, right? I mean, coming into the next fight, you will have the Graviton Surge here for Sinatra coming online. With the way Violet builds these Transcendences, you imagine we see one of those as well.
50% for Violet, so it's got a ways to go here. The Shock would like to slow this down a little bit. Fate switching to Reinhardt, though, means he can challenge Super now. He can just walk straight up and try and fight him. Oh, nice. Fate were knocked down. It looked like he was about to pin Super there and get the kill, but Super still goes on this wild charge and gets taken down. Teams have traded out their Reinhardt, though, and Rascal is deep within enemy territory here. Violet then goes for the Transcendence, just to buffer them now. Rascal also with that rally in play. The Valiant are still looking for more, but they lack their Reinhardt. So Sinatra, a lot of damage available there, and Rascal was the only one caught inside the Graviton space, was trying to follow up, but that grab did not find much. It had to be more from the Valiant. They needed to find more than just one player who didn't even get killed, and this is bad for the Valiant. This is very not good.
It was just a great way to play around them, knowing that they had the Graviton Surge. The Shock spread out. Rascal's the only one that gets caught inside of it.
Fate charges in now. It's his last chance, and the last chance for the entirety of the Valiant in this map to make an attacking difference, but Fate is already down. Custer knocked with the Earth Shatter and removed. And the Valiant are shattered. And I guarantee you, they will not be happy as they get on that bus at the end of the day. But they still have one more half to play. And my heart aches for my countrymen here, I won't lie. But it seems the Valiant have a ways to go before they are where they need to be.
It's a really tough first half, I mean, for the Valiant. I mean, you spent, you had that initial first fight. Then you kind of got locked in the spawn for a minute or so, and then you really have one last chance at the end. It's almost like you didn't really get a chance to play. The Shock were so aggressive taking it to you.
And from the very outset, you can see the Shock was serious. when they're 3 maps up, they still pick that Reinhardt on defense. They play very conservatively close together until they win that first fight. They get that advantage. They push forward. They leverage their ultimate economy lead to keep the Valiant inside the spawn for a while. It's aggressive, flashy, it's cavalier, and it also is absolutely back-breaking and spirit-breaking for your opponent.
I mean, that's it's got to be really difficult to play against, especially when you're down 3-0 in the series already. Hasn't gone well. You've had a lot of blunders in scenarios. Moving off the point on Anubis. The Graviton Surge getting eaten in Blizzard World. It's been a tough series. We'll see how the Shock roll out here on offense. The Super Ash, that's a pick I think a lot of people want to see. They won't see that. If you watch the stream, you've seen the Super McCree. You definitely don't want to see the Super Ash. You see the Trailman go there with the hook, trying to make it happen, doesn't get anything.
All right. Space already quite low, and I don't know if the defense pack, no, the repair pack wasn't used on Space, so he's still quite low, in fact. He has to sort of get involved in this fight anyway. Rascal's immortality field has been taken down, and Shock just playing nice and close together. Really go for a bit of a shield wall formation, if you will. The KSF has charged up. Oh, just a little bit too far. Just a little too far. And then Agility drops down as well. The Valiant know at this point they may as well take the fast track back to spawn and try and find a kill. But look, it's not the finer points. It really appears to be the fundamentals that are holding Valiant back here.
I mean, this next fight's going to be extremely difficult for the Valiant to win. I mean, you have the amplification matrix here from Rascal. You're going to have the Transcendence, most likely. Sinatra get a grab.
Yeah, time for the amplification matrix. Rascal pretty much using it for himself here. Sitting back behind it. Extra healing would also be nice, and he's keeping super topped up. Rascal is a very good dive target here as Batiste, but he's standing inside that immortality field, and Fate try as he might, and he did. Make no mistake. He was not able to find the kill. He eventually goes down. Violet picks him up. So the Shock have a main tank, and Super really wants to try and make his presence felt here, but Agility's went in for the shield bash. Super's shield is now broken. The Shock may have to retreat, at least into the server room, and wait for their chance to end it.
You have to back out here as well. You're waiting for Sinatra. Rascal already has another amplification matrix, and it's going to go down here.
Iziaki's missing. This is nasty. See that shield barely staying alive now. It's going to be the Graviton Surge. By the Shock, they got a lot of use out of that amp matrix, and now they push further. Sound barrier here. Violet using the Transcendence once more. And he's going to be on the point there with Super. Agility's getting a little bit too low to the swinging hammer of Super. And now Space and KSF are also in danger. They push too close. Immortality is what the Shock are looking for. And they'd like to inscribe their name into the Stage 2 title book. And that's how you start. The San Francisco Shock make it look very clean. But some of the stuff they did in game was nothing short of dirty. It was nasty.
Yeah, I mean, they go in with a spawn camp there at the end on Gibraltar, but just a fantastic series, start to finish for the Shock. They'll hold on to the California Cup. I think Rascal playing Batiste, I think it was a huge impact. I think that's really the first great use of him that we've seen in the series.
And just a small adjustment, right? You're switching out the Brigitte, you're bringing the Batista in. For the healing, you pointed it out. Rascal was doing more healing than even the hardest hitter on his team was doing in terms of damage, and that is an extremely good metric. San Francisco, a team that likes to play aggressively. Someone like Rascal and Batiste is able to facilitate that, keep it safe as they go right at their opponents and try and shake them off balance. So that is quite impressive. It's a hero that suits their style very well. But now let's hear a little bit more from the team themselves. We'll head down to the floor with Mika.
Thanks, guys. I got Moth down here. Everybody give it up for Moth. That's right. A clean sweep must feel good. So congratulations. And I know that you guys maybe didn't take the stage final last stage, but that clearly didn't break your spirit. And you guys made an amazing showing today. Would you say that that near loss put a fire under you and you're fighting back even harder?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that playoffs was the first best of sevens I'd ever played on stage, so it was a great learning experience for us. Yeah, I think moving forward, we'll be able to clutch out those rounds next time.
Absolutely, and moving forward, we're going to be seeing probably a lot more comps with more DPS heroes, and that's been pretty fun for everybody to be watching. Do you like this new meta, or are you, missing the goats?